It's about 6 a.m. Saturday. I finished my workout. I went to the store, got some ice, and we are headed up to Duke Park in Troy, Ohio. I've got a soccer tournament today, and we're gonna make some money. I'm mentoring I'm not with Tyreek today, so I'm mentoring a young man to learn how to center. How we get a AR to become ready for a center is kind of like what Tariq and I did last week. We'll mic up. It'll be what they call a two-man game. The field is split into two sections. I have one section, probably parent side, and he'll have another section, which is coach's side. And that's how we move them from making calls as an AR to calls as a center. We can kind of guide them into what to look for, well, additional things that they should pick up, correct signal movement for, out of bounds, offsides, handling, foul recognition, things like that. If this is your first time on my channel, they call me Ankh. My channel is all Lupinya. I do gun reviews, go-ahead rants, and I have a thing called 10 Toes Tuesday, which is what you're watching now. So, by the time you see this, this will be 10 Toes Tuesday. Sun is coming up. It's a beautiful day. You can probably see the sun behind me. And we're going to get to our field. I hope to get some more footage today, checking in just what is needed from a referee, and we'll get into the subject today. I seem meek and mild now. I have completely changed my life from who I was. Where I came from, you don't talk about things. I will not be, snitching on anyone. I'm not going to snitch on myself. I am just going to go over how I changed my life for the better. I'll see you in just a minute. So we're at Troy Park. I'm getting ready to go check in. This park is a little different than the last park you guys saw. I parked back there. My field, let me turn this around, is behind me right there where that tree is. We'll go get checked in, see what's going on. It's a nice morning. It's supposed to be 80 degrees. Should be a good time. I'm on field 3. Caleb is over there, it looks like. You can see the sun in the background. We get checked in. I'll get the truck unpacked. I'll get the tent all set up, and we'll get going. Once again, the fields they're not close to where the referee headquarters is, so I have to go get checked in. But this is the park. My car is past those trees. They've got baseball fields, we've got soccer fields. This is the first time that I've been to this park. We're going to just enjoy the day. Sun is out. It's nice. It's not snowing. It's not raining. Got long sleeves, short sleeves. That's what it is. We're just walking up to the tent. Again, it's probably a good 2-minute walk up to the tent. I see a familiar face up here. It looks like Treva. And Treva is one of the assigners, and Mark, he's in here. So I'm gonna say our greetings, see if they want to drive me back out to the field. It's no real thing that I have to do besides get my name checked in, get my ball, make sure that I have everything I need, and we'll head back out to the field. So this is a King's Hammer tournament. Gentleman in blue is Mark. He's the assigner. I assign with him. He's teaching me how to assign. And the young lady to the left is Treva. That is his girlfriend. She's saying hello to everybody. So we're going to head back to the field, my truck, and get everything set up. Thank you, I will. Have a good day. They're saying thank you. And we'll head back to the truck. You just saw Treva and Mark and we're headed back to the truck now to get everything set up with Caleb. And Caleb is a good new referee, like I told you, and if you saw it a minute ago. We'll get the tent set up. We'll decide what color we're gonna wear. We'll get mic'd up, and we'll start our day. Most of the time, you will have about 5 minutes to get the game started, 5 to 10 minutes, and you think that's a lot of time until you start refereeing. It's not a lot of time at all. Hey, it's what I sign up for. It's what I like. I get paid for it very well. I check out my field conditions, which right now, well, you'll see, they look like, it looks like I am gonna be refereeing not on a flat field, but semi on a hill. And you can never determine, you know, how your field layout is or what field you're gonna get. So you just do the best you can throughout the day. Looks like my first boys are in yellow or black. So we'll have to go with a different color to start the morning. I don't know if you can see it yet, but parents are on one side usually, players and coaches and myself. And sorry for the camera, I'm trying to carry this wagon. So that's the wagon. Got it all loaded up with everything, my chair and everything I'll need for the day. Again, it's 7 o'clock. I'll be here until the last game starts at 7 tonight. So I will definitely, it's definitely gonna be a long day. There's some of the kids on the field, they're warming up, getting ready to play. And I've got U11s, U12s today. So we're gonna go get set up and get started. It's a few days later. I was gonna go over the life change, how I made it from certain situation into a better situation. It did a 180 on my life. But some things happened on the soccer field this weekend that I feel that would better serve as how to keep it 10 toes down, and also let you know in some form or fashion how I've changed my life. There was a coach and his son, and I usually referee between 11 to 18. Sometimes I do the smaller ages, but most of the time 11 to 13 is about the sweet spot. It's the most money, it's the best time, and the kids are in their groove. They have a year or two to choose whether they're going to do the soccer, softball, baseball, whatever sport they're going to go with, or if they're going to continue with academics or whatever. In between games, if you remember from a few minutes back, you only have 5 to 10 minutes to use your phone, use the bathroom, get something to eat, get the teams checked in, get the ball pumped up, get everyone ready and out on the field with sides before you start your game. That's not a lot of time. I thought that I was going to have a break so that I could show you guys some more of the field and the tent. That didn't happen. Scheduling did not go as planned. I had an extra game, so I ended up with 10 games that day. What ends up happening is my game started at 7:45. Again, all the way into, and the last one was at 7 p.m. You start on the field at 7:45. You don't get off until 8 something. You pack up, and then I drive an hour home. In between that time, with that 5 to 10 minutes, I have to choose whether to use the phone, I have to choose whether to eat, go to the bathroom. And with those 3 life choices, I have to get both teams checked in. You have to get the game ball, make sure that they know which sides they're going on, and you get them out on the field to get started on time so that your field stays on time throughout the whole day. Now, 7 to 7 is what, 12 hours? So you may get to sit down a minute in between each game. Halftime is about 3 minutes. By the time you walk off of the field, it's time to go back onto the field. So there's really no breaks. I ran 15 miles. Fourth game, I do believe it was fifth game. I had already run 5 or 6 miles, and the game had ended. The other teams are coming onto the field. I'm in my tent getting things ready, and a parent comes up to me and decides that he wants to be my psychologist or psychiatrist or whatever he wanted to be that day. And he tells me that his son was the one that was fouling and wanted to give me a bit of advice. That's a very, very bad situation. It used to be that I would get very belligerent with them and tell them to get off the field and things. I've tried to tone some of that down, but that comes from my background and people walking up on you. I don't like that. He tells me that he didn't appreciate the way that I spoke to his son, that his son is sensitive, and that basically I should have coddled him. What I wanted to tell him was, you're a bitch and your son is a bitch too. But I didn't do that. I had to think strategically of how I can get this man away from my tent, how not to start a fight, because that's just going to cause trouble for me. Before, former life, I would have welcomed that. That would have been great. That's just what I wanted. Since I've done this 180, and it's taken me about 20 some odd years to do it, I try to think ahead now. I still got my point across with him, but what was said was, I appreciate you coming over here as a man to talk to me about this. I have 3 minutes to get these kids on the field. I want you to, and I've listened to you, and I want you to understand this. I appreciate everything you said, but I don't love little Johnny like you're gonna love little Johnny. I don't care about little Johnny. I don't care about you. What I care about is that game. What I care about is these boys growing up to be men. And so, yes, I yelled at Johnny. Johnny was doing something, but I was also kind to Johnny. I didn't give him a yellow card, and we had a man-to-boy conversation that was pretty positive. He didn't foul anymore. But if you continue to coddle little Johnny's gonna grow up and somebody else is gonna yell at him, whether it's in the army, whether it's in the jail, wherever it is. And I said, I have girls. And what you're telling me that I did to little Johnny is a whisper compared to what I do to my girls. So I can't have any sympathy about you and little Johnny. I come from a military household. That was pretty much a whisper for me as well. So I have no sympathy. So he scurried off. We shook hands. My partner said it looked like he was either going to punch you in the face or cry, or both, and I didn't know which one. I said, well, he chose what he was going to do. We started another game. 3 games later, I'm eating this time. Dad decides he wants to come up to the tent, give me some more referee, great advice from a parent sitting on the sideline stationary. This gentleman says this was offsides, but let me back up. He made a call that he thought he had the right to. He had the right to nothing but sit there and close his mouth and watch the kids play and enjoy his son or daughter play soccer. He decided he wanted to direct comments at me. That's not going to happen. I went over to the coach. I followed all the rules. Went over to the coach, said, hey, coach, your parent is either going to have to leave or I'm going to have to yellow card you and we can continue the game. He said, well, I'm not going over there to say anything to him. It was only 2 minutes left in the whole game. I blew the whistle. I ended the game. And the coach asked, "Why did you do that?" I said, "It's 2 minutes for you to go over there. He's causing a disruption. It's going to take me 5 minutes for us to get him off of the field. That was the easiest solution. You guys were losing anyway. There was no chance of you winning." He said, "Hey, yeah, I agree with that. Great call. Thanks, ref. Hey, have a good day." He left. The parent from the other side decides while I'm eating my sandwich to come over and tell me that was an offsides call, and I just want to clarify. And they always have their, "I just want to clarify some. Just listen to me, bud. Just listen to me." Okay, game over now. So I sat there. I'm eating my sandwich. I'm listening to me spill off, and he said that was a great call. I had the best angle. Uh, that was offsides, and why couldn't you have just let it go through the 2 minutes? That you have no rights at all to say anything. That I didn't even get a warning. I don't have to warn you about anything. He said, "Well, they could have scored." And I'm still eating my sandwich. I said, "Sir, there wasn't a snowball's chance in hell that those little girls were going to score. So, like I've asked you before, because I'd asked him, please leave. I've got 2 minutes to finish this. We're going to move on." At the end of the day, the only thing you can control is yourself. That's one of the lessons that I've learned throughout life, throughout this soccer referee journey, throughout changing my life. And again, we will get into some of that later on. We have plenty of footage and plenty of 10 Toes Tuesdays to go. When I get a tournament that I have a break, I'll show you the field, I'll show you the tent, I'll show you the setup, I'll show you all of that. With that being said, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, until next time, and there will be a next time, just be conscious of what you are reflecting to others. You are not always right. And sometimes you want to buck the authority, and the authority is considering referees on the field. You already know, but you still come over and want to pick up that snake thinking that you're not going to get bit. I'm really nice, but I can turn at the drop of a dime and go back to what did they say? The old me. I can go back to the old me very quickly. But I try to stay conscious. I try to be fair with everything that I do. As always, I keep it 10 toes down, whether that's being nice, whether it's having to show some tough love, whether it's a little bit of both. I strive to make my time on this earth count for something. I think that everybody should too. But coming over to a referee or anyone that you know you're not going to win, and you somehow think that your opinion matters, and disturbing peace to get something off of your chest, is not always the best idea. And with that, I think this is a long enough video. I hope you guys have a good day. And until next time, I'm out.